I've been wanting to do this video for a while now. Uh, well, scratch that. I did, but I didn't. Give you a little backstory. Right off the bat, I'm a big Stallone fan. Like, really big. Uh, there's a few of his movies I don't like. The Specialist. Uh, what else? There's another one I don't like. Uh, I couldn't get into the one he did with the Fonz back in the 70s. I forget what it's called right now. But if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. Uh, Rebel, couldn't really get into it. Uh, Detox, I like Detox, but the ending I don't like. When he picks up the bad guy and sticks him through the little metal spiky thing, whatever it was, that scene was a bit, it looked like something Rambo would do, not, the character in that movie. But anyway, so anyway, I'm a big fan of the Rocky movies, the Rambo movies. Pretty much everything he's done I've liked, with maybe 4 or 5 movies total I don't like. So with the whole COVID stuff going around, my local theater, they've slowly been opening back up. So they've been showing some of the old movies from back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. So they managed to show, over the course of one weekend, like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday and Wednesday, they showed all 6 Rocky movies, like maybe 3 or 4 months back. So, let me say, so when they showed Rocky 1, there was like maybe 8 to 10 people there, including me and my wife. The Saturday, I went to the afternoon showing for Rocky 2. There was 1 person, me. Rocky 3, I think there was like maybe 5 or 6 maybe, including me and my wife. Rocky 4, there was only 5 people, including me and my wife. Rocky 5, there was just me. And Rocky 6, Rocky Balboa, there was just 3 people, and that's including me and my wife. So, granted, I don't expect the theater to be jam-packed. If you're a big Stallone fan, chances are you've already seen the Rocky movies. They're 30, 40 plus years old. So anyway, I held off from watching the Creed movie when it first came out. I think 15 or 16 when it came out. Because number one, I thought the series had wrapped up nicely with Rocky Balboa. There was no need to bring in Creed. And so one of the guys on my job, they kept talking about it. So I'm like, okay, look, I'll give it a shot. But I'm already biased to begin with because I didn't think the movie needed to be told. There was no story there. So I went to Walmart, picked up the double pack for I think like $9 or whatever it was. And I sat down and watched it. And number one, my fears were proven. The movie sucked. But I didn't care about the director. I know he did Fruitvale Station and Black Panther and whatever else. I didn't see Fruitvale Station, whatever. I saw Black Panther and it didn't wow me. It was like, okay, big deal. I didn't care much for Michael B. Jordan's character in Black Panther. I think the guy is wooden. He's like how Keanu Reeves was in Point Break. Just wooden, just no emotion, no nothing. So, and plus I had read a comment, some article that I forgot the director's name right now. Whatever his name is. He made some statement about when he was growing up, there was no good black characters in movies. Now, The guy is like 8 years younger than me. And I can tell you plenty of movies that I saw as a kid where there were good black characters, good black actors in movies. So I don't know what movies he saw growing up. So because he tried to throw in some race nonsense, that was another reason why I didn't want to see the movie, you know. So I went overseas to go visit my friends in Malaysia. I think the year it came, no, I think 17 or 16. I think like the year after it came out. And I made sure to buy the bootleg version of Creed on DVD just so the studio wouldn't make any money. So I've had it since 2017. But anyway, I went ahead and bought the double pack just so I could have Creed 2, which I wanted to see just because Dolph Lundgren was in it. And I'm a big fan of Dolph Lundgren. But anyway, I'm sitting back here and I'm watching Creed, and the first 15 minutes, I'm just bored, stiff. So I'm like, Tony, just push yourself through the movie, push yourself through it, just try to get it over with. And the movie, guys, the movie is like, what, 2 hours and 10 minutes? Maybe? Let's see. Okay, 2 hours and 9 minutes. Oh yeah, no, sorry, that's Creed 2. Sorry, I don't know how long Creed. It's probably like an hour, maybe 2 hours and 10 minutes, maybe. But it felt longer than 2 hours plus. Now, if you go back to watch the original Rocky, that movie is over 2 hours. If you watch Rocky 2, that movie is over 2 hours. But they don't feel that long because there's always something going on. You know, you're so engaged in the characters. Rocky and his relationship with Adrian, Paulie acting crazy, you know, Mickey's being Mickey. Those characters are so lovable that you care about them. You want to see what's happening next. Not one time watching Rocky 1 and 2 did I feel like the movie was dragging, you know, like it had came to a standstill. But with Creed, I felt those 2 hours plus. And I'm just bored out of my mind because nothing was going on. The music was garbage. I don't care about rap music, number one, but even Rocky 5 had rap music, and that stuff, it pumped you up, you know. So I don't know any of these, and I'm too lazy to go and get the DVD, so I don't know who or what is on the soundtrack. I don't know rap artists nowadays anyway, because I don't follow music. But the music in that movie was garbage. Even the score was garbage. It did nothing to get me hyped up for the movie, nothing to get me hyped up for the final confrontation, nothing. The characters were boring. Okay, now let me start from here and I'll go bit by bit on the characters. Now, I'm going to be comparing them with all the other Rocky characters because I have to. If it's in the same Rocky universe, then I have to compare the characters with past Rocky characters. So don't get mad about that. Okay, I've already compared the music. Whoever did the music in the Creed movie was garbage. Okay, trying to remember the guy from the Rocky movie who did the scores. I'm drawing a blank. But Bill Conti, okay. That guy was a master of evoking emotion through his music. You felt something when you pop in the DVD and watch the Rocky movie, whether it be Rocky 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, whatever. You know, you felt something. Even when they reused the score in all the other various Rocky movies, you felt something. You know, but this music is garbage. It's flat. There's nothing happening. So that gets an F right there. Now on to the characters. Creed is one of the most boring and bland characters to headline a Rocky movie. He's unlikable. He's a punk. And he's not even an underdog, so how can you root for him? He's got a cushy job when the movie first starts. He's going down south of the border to fight and just gives it up to go fight. And he says some nonsense like something like, nobody trained me, I'm self-trained, or something of that nature. There's no boxer that's self-trained. You have to learn from somebody how to hit that heavy bag, otherwise you'll break your hand. So that's garbage. And just because he's Apollo Creed's son doesn't automatically mean he has that in him. You know? Look at Michael Jordan's son. That guy sucked playing basketball. You know? But he is one of the most unlikable characters in the entire movie. Just a punk from the word go. He's got a cushy job at some bank job or some kind of the broker position or whatever job he has. He's got money up the wazoo, you know? And yet, he talks like some street punk, you know? And that goes on to something else I'll speak about later. When the movie first comes out, well, let me go ahead and just talk about it now, since when the movie first starts, he's in some boy's home and he's fighting somebody. Cora Creed comes in and says something about, why are you fighting? And he was like, oh, some nigga was talking about my mama, so I beat his tail. Okay, first of all, not every black person says nigger. Okay? So he could have easily just scratched that out. And he says it in that scene, and I believe when he fights that guy at the club, nigger this and nigger that. Not every black person says the N word, okay? So he could have easily just scratched that part out. And it's not even Stallone's fault. He didn't write the script. But the guy, I forget the guy's name, the director, he wrote the script. So all criticisms fall on him. Okay? Rocky. He does nothing in this movie. So I don't know how he wins a Golden Globe or nominated for a Golden Globe or Emmy, or I think it was a Golden Globe, not an Emmy, for that movie. He does nothing in Creed. He throws up and he gets sick and that's it. What does he do? There's nothing that Rocky does in this movie, Stallone does in this movie, that beats out anything he did in Rocky Balboa. Nothing. Name one memorable line in Creed. I bet you can't. But yet, remember that line in Rocky Balboa when he says, life doesn't, what's that line about? How life hits harder. Nobody hits harder than life. And when life hits you down, you get back up, because that's how winning is, how winners are made, something like that. I can't get it verbatim, but you know what I'm talking about. Everybody knows that line. Why? Because it just that block of dialogue alone says so much about Rocky as a person and the Rocky movies as a whole. Nobody hits harder than life. That's Rocky in a nutshell right there. He gets up after every knockdown and gets back up. He finds that inner strength to keep pushing forward. No matter what life throws at you, whether you get fired from your job, you get back up and you find another job. If you're homeless, you get back up and you find another house. You lose your wife, you get back up and you find somebody else. Your girlfriend leaves you, whatever. You don't lay down until you die. You keep getting back up, keep pushing forward. That's life. That's Rocky. But in this movie, he does nothing. Nothing memorable in Creed. Nothing. And you have to kill off Paulie? Really? Garbage. What happened to Little Marie? Completely gone. What happened to Steps? Completely gone. You kill off Paulie for what? Nothing. And yeah, I know that's life. I get it. But there was no point in killing off Paulie. Matter of fact, instead of killing off Paulie, because Tony Burton's character was sick around the same time, why not kill off his character? Because I believe the gym that Creed goes to at the beginning of the movie is owned by somebody named Little Duke. But yet you didn't even bother trying to explain, was that Duke's son who owns that gym or what? You didn't even bother trying to explain that. Whether there's a deleted scene, I don't know about, because I didn't bother watching the deleted stuff on my DVD, and I don't have the Blu-ray version. So if there's a deleted scene about that, I don't know. Now going on to the other boxers. Pretty somebody, whatever the character's name was. Those boxers were the most bland, once again, bland characters that brought nothing. I don't know, I can't even remember the guy's name. Pretty Ricky, I think the guy's name was. And something Conlon, I think the other guy's name. Those guys were nobodies. The only reason why I remember their name because I just watched the movie like maybe 2 months ago, maybe, if that long. But yeah, a year from now, ask me if I remember anything about those guys. I know one of them was going to go to jail over something, and that was the reason why he had to fight. I believe the guy he was going to fight went to jail over punching somebody out or some nonsense, whatever it was. I can't even really remember why. Because they were so boring. They brought nothing. There was nothing identifiable to those boxers. But yeah, everybody knows Apollo Creed. Everybody knows Clubber Lang. Everybody knows Tommy Gunn. Everybody knows Ivan Drago. Why? Because they were unique fighters who brought something to the series. They had a personality of their own. Everybody knows, even though he wasn't really a fighter, a boxer, everybody knows Hogan's character, Thunder Lips. Everybody knows those fighters because they brought something. They were unique characters. You know? But Pretty Boy Ricky or whatever the guy's, Collins something, nobody would know those guys. Nobody. They're the same, and they're the same way as Stallone wrote Mason Dixon. Another bland character, and I know they're probably trying to go for more realistic, but even realistic boxers are unique. Muhammad Ali, which I'm not a big fan of, but people know him. Mike Tyson, people know him. Floyd Mayweather, people know him. Roberto Duran, people know him. Larry Holmes, one of the most underrated boxers, my favorite boxer. People know him. They were all unique fighters, and those were realistic fighters. But the guys in Creed, and to an extent Mason Dixon from Rocky Balboa, bland nobodies. It's like eating oatmeal without sugar, or without berries, without honey, whatever you put in your oatmeal. It's like eating bland oatmeal. That's what the boxers in the Creed movie was. Bland. Milquetoast. Just nothing fighters. Whatever character Tessa Thompson played in, whatever her name was. Bland. I didn't care about her, that she was some half-deaf singer. I didn't care about that. This guy failed on so many points as a writer. Yes, he may be famous and I'm a nobody writer, but at least I know how to, or I like to think I know how to, write compelling characters. Now, if they're side characters, I understand them being boring because they're side characters. But all the characters in this movie were upfront, in-your-face characters, and they were still boring. I didn't give two beans about her. And her using some stupid slang term, I forgot what that was. They went to some outside stand and bought some food, and she was like, "Oh, give me a joint or whatever the word she used. And then when they sat down to eat, Creed asked her, so you have a whatever the word was, and she said no, and he know that she didn't have a boyfriend, whatever stupid slang term they used, and that was the last time you heard it. So it's like, okay, what's the point of using that slang term, whatever word it was, if you're only going to use it the first 20 minutes of the movie and then drop it, as if it was supposed to mean something. Just stupid. The only thing this movie has going for it is the fight scenes. I like the way it was fought. It was shot. I do like that. That's the only pro I can give Creed, is the way the fight scenes were shot. I really like that. But everything else was garbage. And it sucked that Stallone even gave his okay for this movie to be made. It's a fan fiction nonsense of a movie. And then I'm going to go to this. I'm going to go a couple of points, point by point. Again, why I don't like it. Scenes that didn't make any sense. Okay? When Creed goes to Philadelphia and meets Rocky at his restaurant. Okay? First of all, why would he think that Stallone owed him anything? Oh, you owe me this. Stallone doesn't even know Rocky doesn't even know who you are. You came out of nowhere, eyeballing his souvenirs at the restaurant. Why would he think he owes him anything? He just met him 5 minutes ago. So then he gets mad that the guy won't train him. Okay, so did you not watch any clips of what happened between him and Tommy Gunn? Because if you can go on YouTube and bring up fight scenes with your father, surely that street fight between Rocky and Tommy Gunn is all over the Rocky Universe version of YouTube. Surely it is. But you can go to your local library and go use the microfilm machine and dig up newspaper clippings of what happened, how Tommy Gunn pretty much dismissed them at the Tommy Gunn and Union Kane fight. I'm sure you can find YouTube videos of that, or go and find magazine clippings of that. So why would you get mad of the fact that this man doesn't want to train you after all he's been through? That was dumb. So then when he goes to him again a second time and say, hey, why don't you train me? And then starts calling this guy Unc. Short for uncle? Really? You're not that close to this man. So then when he moves into Rocky's house, he brings a girl over and just disrespects Rocky by sleeping with the girl at the couch, or on the couch rather. Really? So you have zero respect for this man who's taken time out of the remainder of his years to train you, and you just blatantly disrespect the man. I would never go over to somebody's house, bring my girlfriend over, and have sex with her in that person's house. That's blatantly disrespectful. Go and get a hotel room if you're that horny. So that right there made me really not like the character, even though I didn't like him to begin with. That right there, I didn't like him even more so. And then when they go to fight, and he's got his gloves all laced up, and then he says something dumb like, oh, cut my gloves off, I gotta go use the bathroom, I'm nervous. You really thought to write that piece of dialogue in there? That was just so juvenile. And then when Rocky says, oh, you're not my family, he tells that to Creed. I'm like, Rocky would never say something like that. This is a man who took Tommy Gunn in, and to quote Paulie, when they met him outside the bar right before the street fight, what did Paulie tell Tommy Gunn? This is a man that spit blood for you, put you ahead of his own family. That's what Paulie told Tommy before Tommy slugged him. So if Rocky would bring in a nobody like Tommy Gunn, put up with all the stuff that Tommy Gunn did to him, and then when they finally fought, still told the man, hey, I love you like a brother, or something of that nature, he told him. We're supposed to be like this, like crossed fingers. I loved you, Tommy. But yet he gonna tell Creed, oh, you ain't family? That's just not Rocky. That was poor writing. That goes to show you that Stallone did not write this. Yeah, he might have looked over it and okayed it, but he did not write that. He did not write that script. That's somebody who did not know the character of Rocky. And I'm sure I'm forgetting some because I didn't write any bullet points. So I'm sure I'm missing some stuff. But I didn't mind Felicia Rashad as Marianne Creed or Cora Creed, whatever version you want to use or whatever name you want to give her, because they've switched names throughout the series. I think in 1 and 2 she was Marianne, and 4 she was Cora. So whatever name you want to give her. I didn't mind her. I just wish they would have used the original actress, assuming she's still alive and wanted to do it. But all in all, Creed was a severe letdown for the Rocky franchise. And I really don't even want to watch part 2 because I didn't like the first one. But I'm going to watch part 2 just because I'm a big fan of Dolph Lundgren and I like Stallone. But I'm really not in any way, shape, or form ready to watch Creed because of Creed 2, because Creed was such a severe letdown, and I knew I wasn't going to like it to begin with. So those are my 2 cents on Creed. Till next time, y'all.